Okay, guys, this is your Friday Pilates record. We're going to do a full hour of work today. And we'll go ahead and slowly get started. We begin lying on our back as we always do. Knees bent, feet grounded. Lining up with the hip bones. Feet run parallel. Arms are stretched out but angled away with your palms faced up. And the backs of your shoulders lightly pressing to the ground, broadening your chest. The crown of your head reaching to the back of your mat, chin landing fist distance from the chest. Let's take a moment here just to close the eyes. Before we get into our breathing, I'd like us to focus on our pelvic neutrality. So imagining that your pelvis were a bowl of water. When you take your next inhale, I'd like you to tilt your pelvis forward as if you're spilling water towards your heels. Notice your lower back arching and lifting off the ground. And I'd like you to tilt your pelvis back as if you're spilling water into your navel. You're going to feel that tailbone curl up. Again, taking an inhale, tilting forward with the pelvis, spilling water to heels. And then tipping back on pelvis, spilling water into navel. Let's do that one more time. Just feeling this rocking forward, what happens to the shape of your spine. And then feel it as you rock back with the pelvis, how that changes there. And then from that rocking back, let's find that sweet spot between the two endpoints. And there's neutrality. You're going to kind of feel the SI joints just kind of lightly plugged into the floor, and just a very slight kind of lifting off the earth of the lower back region. Now with the eyes closed, we focus on our breath to build up technique to connect to our powerhouse. So we will begin by taking a nice deep and slow inhale through the nose, then a slow and steady exhale out through the mouth. Again, taking a deep inhale to fill from bottom of belly to top of chest. Then as you exhale, emptying from the top of your chest, pushing all the way down through the lower belly region. That was a good cat moment. Breathing in, you want to expand the ribs out wide as your lungs fill up with air. Squeeze your breath out from beginning to end and knit the ribs back to their midline. So we'll stay with an easy inhale through the nose, but really creating a much more powerful, forceful exhale through your mouth as if you're forcing air through a straw. As you breathe in with ease, the belly will rise and the core muscles stay relaxed and disengaged. When you exhale with force and power, those muscles begin to contract, right? Firming up a belly, drawing navel down towards your spine. I'd just like you to stay here with this breath so that you can better build up the relationship between breath and core. They work hand in hand. So seeing if you can pull your abs in even deeper each time you breathe out. Take this time also clearing the mind of all other things so that you can stay really present and focused within your practice. Let's go ahead and take 3 more. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. Breath in, notice movement and sensation. Breath out. One more time, breathing in. And then exhale, go ahead and open up your eyes. Then as you breathe in next, slowly turn your head to look over your right shoulder. Then exhale slowly. Transition to look over your left shoulder. Again, breathing in, head comes through center, and then it turns over to the right shoulder. And then exhale, lifting head and turning to look over your left shoulder. Let's do 1 more to each. Make sure that the head, remember, stays in contact with the floor the entire time. 1 more over to the left. And then take it back to centered space. From centered space, let's interlace fingers. Cup the base of your skull from behind. So thumb knuckles gonna hook onto that area where the neck just before it begins. And we're gonna lift the elbows up high to the sky. Really let those arms closely frame your head and allow your head to lie heavily in those hands. Let's take an inhale. Use your hands and arm strength to lift your head off the ground. Press your chin into your chest as you breathe out. Then go ahead and return the head back down to the floor again, breathing in. So this is not about the abdominals, it's about stretching the back of your neck. So let's do that again. Exhale, head is heavy, lift it off ground, press chin to chest, feeling this in the back of your neck down through your shoulder blades. And then go ahead and lower your head back to the floor. We'll do that one last time. Exhale, slow peel up. Going to go ahead and lower that head back to the floor. Once you have lowered it, release your hands and lift your arms up to the sky. Palms face each other. Breathing in, I'd like you to shrug your shoulders off the ground. Reach your fingertips up high to sky. Then as you exhale, anchor down. Plug in. Again, reaching up, breathing in. Exhaling, return to anchored space. Let's do that a couple more times. As you shrug up, you're going to feel your shoulder blades behind you kind of spread open wide. When you plug in, you're going to feel them slightly activate in between upper back strengthening. Let's do one more. Shrug up, breathing in. Plug down, breathing out. Maintain that anchor as you inhale now. Both arms reach behind you. Then as you exhale, circle the arms out, slow, and then back down beside you. Let's do that a few more times. Breathing in, arms are overhead, belly is firm, spine is imprinted, tailbone is grounded. Exhale, open out, circle down. Let's do a couple more. Breathing in, firming up the belly. Then keep your arms either on the ground, touching floor, or as close as you can as you bring the arms beside you. One last time. Inhale, overhead. Exhale, circle out and down, and then rest the arms here. Take a breath in while you're waiting. Firm up your belly, exhale, lift your feet off ground. Slowly pull the knees to chest. You're forcing your core muscles to work instead of your hip flexors. Hands on knees. Start to draw circles with your legs, both of which move in the same direction. Massaging out your SI joints just above the tailbone. Take a moment to pause and then reverse the direction. And then let's start to take the legs back into still. Next, on your inhale, use your hands to separate the legs, open them to a big V. And then on your exhale, take those knees, try to pull them in closer towards your shoulders. Then let your tailbone ground back down. And then bring the legs together again. We'll do that a couple more times. So inhaling, separate legs, open them to their widest. Keep them wide. Use your hands to draw the knees closer towards your shoulders. Then go ahead, let the tailbone drop back down. Bring your pelvic bowl back to neutral, and then close the legs together again. Let's do that once more. Opening, pelvis is neutral. Then the pelvis rocks back as the knees pull closer to your chest. Tailbone comes off the floor. Then you bring your pelvis back to its neutral space. Tailbone reroutes. And then we bring the legs together again. Let's return both feet to the floor. Let's stretch them out long, both of them, or legs rather, pointed toes. On your next inhale, I'd like you to take your right knee, draw it towards your chest, and lift the leg up high to the sky. As you breathe out, reach out through those toes, begin to lower that right leg downwards to ground, not landing completely, so the lowest you would go is a hover or anywhere before that. You begin again. Inhale, knee pulls in as closely as it can. Leg stretches up as high as it can. You may already start to feel that in your hamstring. And then on your exhale, lengthening out through the toes, firming up of the belly, and slowly guiding the leg down to a level that you can maintain. Again, knee in, Leg lifted on an inhale. Exhale, resistance coming down as if your leg were working against current. Again, draw knee in, lift leg up, all on a breath in. And then slowly take it towards the earth as you exhale. This time on your inhale, draw the knee to chest, keep it there, place both hands onto that knee, and then hug the leg in closer to body. Feel the stretch in your glute and your lower back. As you're hugging, pull shoulders away from your ears. Circle your right foot around to warm into your ankle. Reverse direction. Take the foot into still and extend your right arm out to its side, palm up, shoulder pressed down. Start to guide leg across to your left with as many breaths as you need to do it, while looking over right shoulder for a spinal twist. Let your body ease into the space. Breathe into the space. Melting and settling with every exhale you take. So let's do a couple more here. Inhale it. Exhale. Once more, breathe in. Firm up belly, unwind slow, and exhale, return to center. Once you have, let that right leg release, stretch it out slowly, meeting your left, and take both arms back beside you. Do all that on the other side, starting just with some kind of hip mobility and core strengthening. Left knee on an inhale starts to draw towards chest, then leg lifts up high to the sky. As you breathe out, slowly begin to lower that left leg back down towards the earth. We never want it to fall down quick. Inhale, knee in, and leg lifting high. Exhale, belly strong. Leg in control. We take it to a space we can maintain. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhaling and lifting. Reach through toes, find more length out as you lower down. Again, knee in, leg high. Everything else stays grounded and is a statue, very still, not shifting, not moving. Knee in, keep the knee here, hands on knee, hug leg to body, draw shoulders away from your ears. Keep the leg close as you draw circles with your left foot. Ankle movement. Reverse direction. Good. Take foot into still and extend left arm to its side, palm up, shoulder down. Start to guide the leg across to your right while you look over your left shoulder, twisted the opposite way. Let's do a couple more. One last time, breathe it in big. Firm up that belly, slowly unwind as you exhale to center. Once you've centered, bend both knees, ground both feet to the floor. Arms both can rest beside you again. Next, we're going to take the right leg, cross it over the left leg, as if you're sitting in a chair with no space between thighs. Arms both come out to T. You can keep a single cross here like I have, or if it's available to you, I can show you a double wrap, tucking your right foot and kind of hooking it around the back of your left calf. Either way, whichever one feels best for you, let's take a breath in. As you breathe out, take the lower half of your body and gently lower it towards the left side, feeling that a bit into the outer hip, piriformis QL. And then draw back up to center, breathing in. Again, lean to the left, take your time and keep your upper body strong, sturdy, and stable. Lifting back up, breathing in. Let's just do that one more time. Exhale, if you're in a single wrap, just make sure the legs are hugged tight together. Good. Lifting up and then staying lifted here. If you had a double cross, just come to single. Pull the knees to body. Hold on to the legs with both hands and gently draw the legs in closer too. Drop your tailbone towards the earth, and you can keep your feet low and relaxed like here, or flex and begin to lift the feet up, bringing the legs more into 90. Just a different sensation of stretch. Breathe into your right outer hip. Deep inhales and long exhales. Let's do a couple more here. One last. And then as you breathe out, go ahead and uncross the legs and ground both feet back to the floor again. Let's do the other side. Left leg crossing over right leg. You can single or double wrap if you wish. Arms back out to T. Take a breath in. Exhale, gently lower your legs towards the right side of your workspace. And then draw back up on the inhale. Taking your time. This pulls a bit into the lower back as well. So coming over to the right with ease, right? We never want to rush it in case it becomes too much. We want to take our time to find our edge. And then let's come back up on an inhale. Let's do that one more time. Leaning the lower half of your body over to the right. Keeping everything else grounded to the floor. And then go ahead and lift the legs to center. Keep centered. If you're double wrapped, just come to single. As we then draw the knees in, hold on to both legs and draw them in closer to body. Tailbone grounds down, sits bones. Feel them stretch to the front of your workspace. Feet can flex and lift if you wish, or stay low and relaxed if you'd like. Breathe now into your left hip. Deep inhales. Long exhales. Again, breath in. Breath out, and we'll do that one more time. Taking an inhale into that left side. As you breathe out, release the stretch, uncross the legs, and draw your knees to your chest. Arms are going to be in close beside, stretched down long and planted in firm. Take a breath in and imprint your spine to the ground. As you exhale, extend the right leg away from the body. Start from the hip, extend out the thigh, the knee, the shin, then the toes. Then we do the same thing on the way back in. Pull in from the hip, thigh pulls in closer, knee draws in closer, heel closer to glute. Then the left side, extending, movement starts from the hip, then the thigh extends, then the knee stretches out, then the shin, then lengthen through the toes. And as we pull in from the hip, thigh pulls in, knee draws in, heel comes down towards glute. Extension of the right leg again, hip, thigh, knee, shin, and toes. Pull in, hip, thigh, knee, then heel. Left side again, hip, thigh, knee, shin, foot and toes. Then hip, thigh, knee, then heel, coming down. Exhale the right leg out again. Keep it there. Then as you breathe in, pull the right leg in, but now we'll extend the left leg away at the same time. Both hips working just in different directions. Then again, you're going to switch. Breathe in, take your time. Then on the exhale, again, a switch. Let's do one more to each. Inhale. Hips, thighs, knees, toes. Exhale. Hips, thighs, knees, heels. Whichever leg is in, keep it there. The extended leg will pull in also. Hands on knees. Rock gently side to recover. So I think I've mentioned this before, right? It's kind of it's important over time within our practice as we improve to really understand the mechanisms and the movement within our body and where it all stems from, and when we can really understand, oh, when I move this body, that kind of strength and that initiation comes from this part, and then everything else follows. You can have much better control over everything else. All right, let's keep the knees in. Let's place our hands on our knees. You can continue to keep your head grounded, but if you're feeling like you're wanting a little bit more heat for your core, you can lift up the head, the neck, the shoulders, Eyes towards your navel, shoulders away from the ears. If you do feel strain in your neck, remember, head then comes back down to the earth. Let's move into some double leg stretch. So on an inhale, legs, both of them extend away from you as well as your arms reaching out. When you exhale, circle arms around, draw knees in, come back into a ball. Again, reaching away on an inhale. Pulling it in on an exhale. So now our movements stem from the hips and the shoulders. 4 more. 4. 3 more. 2 more times. Lengthen through the toes and fingertips right at the end of the stretch, right? Exhale, pull back in. 1 last time. Hips, shoulders, arms, thighs, elbows, knees, toes, fingers. Exhale it all back in. And then rest again, recover. Okay. Let's come back into stillness. If we had some movement, release your feet to the floor, and then let's stretch the legs all the way down to the ground again. This time, instead of pointing our toes, we're going to flex our feet, push out through heels, lift toes high to sky, and hug your thighs to midline. We're going to stretch the arms behind us overhead to the back of the mat, palms faced in, hands shoulder width apart. Pull your shoulder blades down your backside. Seal your ribs down towards your spine and zip your pubic bone up to your navel, core strong. Let's start to lift off on an inhale, arms, head, shoulders. Exhale, feel the legs anchor towards the floor as the heart reaches up high to sky. Take your time, slow hinge forward. We did get a little stretch into the backside when we were doing that kind of leg range of motion earlier. But we haven't like stretch. So take your time to ease. Let the head hang heavy. Let the arms stay elevated. Keep pushing up through your heels. Let's stack up tall with our next breath in that we take. When we exhale, tucking tailbone, scooping out belly, rounding out spine, pushing through those heels, controlling yourself all the way back to the ground, and then never let those legs relax. We begin again. Start your lift on an inhale. Breath strength and core strength to lift you. Take your time to hinge. We might hold this space for a minute here. Not an actual minute, but a moment or two, right? Just to feel that backside, the backs of heels, calves, hamstrings, glutes, and lower back stretching out. Stack tall, breathe in. Make sure to look forward as you come down, keeping that chin in its neutral space. 1 last time. Breathe it in, start it up. About tips of shoulder blades is when you start to exhale. Stack tall for posture to get a deep stretch as you hinge forward at the hips. Upright on your breath in. Roll down slower than you'd like to on your exhale. Once you have lowered, circle the arms down beside you. Keeping your feet flexed, draw the right knee into chest, lift the right leg to sky and point the toes. If keeping the legs straight all the way through bothers the hip flexor, bending your knee, the knee is bent, the foot has to be more out in front than when it was straight. External rotation of thighs so the hip joint opens up. Taking an inhale, cross that right leg slightly over body. Draw a small circle down, around, and then restack the knee above hip, pause. Single leg circles, cross over, breathe in. Keep the backs of your hips rooted equally to the ground so they don't seesaw through ab strength. Let's do 2 more, crossover. Make sure that the size of your circle is something that you can control. Yeah. 1 more time. Inhale, crossing, circling through, then stop right at the top. We reverse the direction. Now breathing in, opening the leg out to its side, and then circling down across, sweeping up and stacking. Again, opening on a breath in, circle down, slightly across, sweep up and stack. 2 more here, belly tight the entire time. Even though we're moving our leg, it's our core that's getting the work done. Opening on an inhale, circle slowly through. Once you've stacked up, bend your right knee, pull it to your chest, hand on that knee, circle the leg around, massage out the hip flexor. So I have mentioned this also before. This is a really great exercise as a prime example of the importance of what's not moving in our body versus what is moving in our body. So yes, that leg was moving, but we didn't want our pelvis to rock, which means the backs of our hips would seesaw also. So it's this control of our pelvis through the abdominal muscles here. Let's switch sides. Extend the right leg out and flex the foot. So this right leg, or whichever leg is grounded, is working too, because we're keeping the foot flexed, those muscles are engaged, and the leg stays anchored down. Our arms are working pressed firm to floor. Both of those things, stabilizers. Let's draw the left knee to chest, lift the leg up, point the toes. Remember, you can have a bend in your knee, but if your knee is bent, readjust so the foot pulls out more so the knee stays stacked. Then you're going to externally rotate the thigh, just a quarter turn open to its side. On an inhale, cross legs slightly over. Draw a small controlled circle down, out, sweeping up, stacking, pausing. Again, inhale to initiate. Exhale for the follow through. Let's do 2 more this direction. Inhale, cross. Sweep through, take your time. Keep reaching through those toes. Once more, cross, breathing in. You can always increase the size of circle as long as you can maintain stability. Let's go to the other side. Inhale, opening the leg to start. Circle down, slightly across, sweeping up, stacking. Again, opening, circling through. 2 more. One last time, open up, breathing in, circling through, breathing out. Once stacked, knee bends, hand on knee, and then circle the leg around to recover. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and drop both knees into our chest. I'm going to scooch down a little bit so we can get to this next exercise. We're going to move into roll overs. So very similar concept as the roll up is. So same movement, same breath work, just the opposite parts of our body are moving. So with the roll up, it's the upper half that lifts and folds over and then lifts and comes back down. Now it's our lower half, our legs, that are going to lift and fold over and then lift and come back down. I'll just do this really briefly. Legs extended, toes pointed, tailbone rooted, arms close in, pressed in firm. You can always use your hands, right, to help you pull overhead. You can always use your hands also as you come back down. If you are choosing to use your hands for support, be really mindful that you don't just dump your body weight into your hands. You want to still be able to strengthen and use your core. Mostly, the hands are just slight aids. Okay. Lower abdominal strengthening. So actually, let's start with some hip lifts to prep and warm our body. Arms beside, let's cross right ankle over left. Take a breath in, press the arms down. Exhale, quick shot up with your hips and come back down. Again, come back down. Do 4 more on this side. Arms and lower core. Let's do 2 more. Press those arms out. I like to make some fists, yeah? Good. Once you're done, uncross, recross left ankle over right, and do 6 here. 3 more. Last one. Good, and let's Draw the knees in to take a moment to recover. So with that being said, with that prep work, it is your lower abdominal strength. It is your arm strength. That's what's going to help get the legs, or the hips rather, to come all the way off the ground. And then you're going to use your arms to lift the hips up as high as they can before taking the legs all the way over. Getting the lift of hips helps to stretch more of our spine at the end of the day. So let's take those legs to sky with pointed toes, uncrossed ankles here, arms close and pressed down. Take a breath in. Push into the ground, lift the hips up as high as you can. Take legs overhead. Keep the weight into your shoulders and shoulder blades, not your neck. Let's stay here for a breath in. When you exhale, begin to slowly take it back down towards the floor. Try to lower each side evenly, and then really try to keep the back of your head grounded to the floor. I know it wants to lift up, yeah? We'll do these just a couple more times. So breathe and prepare yourself. Used a lot of arm power to get my hips to lift up high. Stay over here on an inhale. And then exhale if you want more heat. Start to press the legs up first, then start to lower down. Let's do it one more time. Take a breath in, deep, deep in, full. Use those arms, press down. Recover once you've finished, however that's most easiest or for you, or however it feels the best for your body. Those aren't easy. We haven't done them in a while, so just threw them in there. Something just to practice here and there. All right, let's go ahead. Let's see what time it is for you guys. Wonderful. Let's go ahead and come up to a seated position next. Rock up or roll to a side and press yourself to seated, whichever feels best for you. We're going to have the legs extended forward, making sure that our feet are flexed and the legs are squeezed tight together. You're going to have a little bend in your knees here as well. Make sure you're sitting up nice and tall with chest to sky, shoulders drawn back, and ribs sealed in. Let's take our arms into a genie position out in front, forearms stacked on top, arms level with the shoulders, not above, not below. From here on out, your arms, they are now frozen in this spot right here. Not in terms of their actual location during this exercise, but in terms of the structure in relation to the rest of your body, not in terms of the space itself. So, which will mean that the arms will technically move, but they will never move independently. The only reason they'll be moving is because your core muscles helped to move your entire upper body as one solid piece. Yeah. All right, let's get into our spine twist. Let's breathe in, get really tall out through crown of head. Firm up belly, exhale, take a rotation with your torso to the right. Eyes stay at horizon. Fairly small twist here. And then center on an inhale. It's really for spinal movement. Our pelvis is stable, meaning the pelvis doesn't follow the twist. The pelvis should be squared forward. That's why it's so, that's why the movement is so small. If I were to twist and continue to twist, I'm going to feel my left leg kind of jut forward. I'm also going to feel my right hip pull back and follow. Of course, I got a really big twist here, but now my body is all out of whack and I haven't really worked my muscles at all. So I'll come back through center. So I'm going to keep it smaller, aligned, and then I'm really going to feel the muscles having to work harder to get me to rotate. Come back through center. Let's do one more to each side. Taller as you twist to your right, as if you're climbing up a spiral staircase. Don't let your eyes look down. Keep them along the horizon. Inhale it back to center. Legs are your anchor. Sits bones root straight down. Take it to your left. Come back through center. Then let's uncross the arms and extend them now out in front of you. Hands just, you know what? Keep your hands shoulder width distance apart. Shoulder and upper back strengthening on an inhale, bend your elbows, pull elbows straight back, and you're gonna feel that right in the shoulder blades. Then as you exhale, externally rotate the arms, fingertips lift to sky, arms are at 90, 90. There's an internal rotation as you breathe in, pulling your wrists down to elbow level, and then exhale, extending arms forward again. I'll do it a sideways approach. Breathe in, bend elbows, draw them straight back. Exhale, open palms to face forward. Close palms down towards the floor. And straighten arms in front of you. Let's do that one last time. Inhale, bend elbows, draw them back. Exhale for your rotator cuffs in the shoulders. Flip your palms up to face forward. Internally rotate, palms facing down, wrists in line with elbows. Exhale, arms stretch forward, and then we melt forward. Let your feet relax, let your arms hang heavy, let your head hang heavy here as well. Breathing into your back body, deep inhales, long exhale. Again, breath in, breath out. Last one, inhale. Rolling up slowly as you breathe out. Head will be the last thing that stacks up. Once you have stacked up, let's transition next to tabletop, coming onto hands and knees. Fingers spread out nice and wide and lightly gripping ground to support those wrists. Knees stacked underneath your hips, hip width apart. Lift out of your arms so you're not just kind of hanging out and collapsing into them. Feels nice, but there's no real activation of our muscles. Pull the lower belly in and up, send the heart forward and look slightly forward. Now, as you breathe in, I'd like you to melt your belly to the floor, but as you're doing that, you're tilting your pelvis up to the sky and you're lifting your heart to the sky. So a nice big arch in your back. Then on your exhale, scoop up the belly, round your spine, press away from the ground, and tuck your chin towards your chest. Good. Inhale, lifting the pelvis up, stretching out the belly, lifting the heart, pulling shoulders back, opening up chest. Exhale, tucking pubic bone towards belly button, tucking chin to chest, push away from the ground with your hands, knees, and your tops of your feet. Lift again, breathe in, stretch out. This time, as you round your spine, press the tops of feet to floor, lift your knees and your shins off the ground, still rounding your spine. So tuck pelvis in towards nose. Then return the knees and the shins down as you flatten back and then arch it, lift heart, lift tailbone. Exhale, tops of feet press down, belly pulls in and up, rounding spine. And then once more, shins and knees down, breathe in, neutral spine, then an arched back. Exhale, pull in, pull up, push off the ground, hold the space for 3, tuck it in, 2, round it out, 1, and then return back to tabletop. Gently sit back to your heels, take your elbows to the floor, and just roll out your wrists. Let's go ahead and pull forward again back to tabletop. I'm going to take a quarter turn here because I want us to work on some side extensions of arm and leg. We'll be strengthening outer hips or starting to, and we'll be working the obliques. Those are our main 2 areas of strengthening. However, pretty much our entire body is on board for this one. So nice strong tabletop position. We're going to begin moving the right arm and the left leg. And as we move those 2 extremities, really making sure that we keep our chest, our heart space squared forward, reaching forward, and nicely centered in terms of our weight hold. Let's start. Inhale, right arm stretches forward, left leg reaches back. Really ground in with your grounded hand and your grounded leg. On your exhale, start to open the extended arm and leg out to their sides. The arm only comes out 90 degrees, never beyond, because it starts to pull you out of space. And then return to center, take a breath in. Lift out of grounded arm and then extension out to the sides, heart stretching forward. And then bring it back through, breathe in. We're just doing 2 more. Keep that right knee pressed to the ground. Anchor down. Inhale to center. One last time. Heart forward, looking slightly forward as you extend out to your sides. Bring it back to center and take it to tabletop. Sit back to heels, elbows to floor, and then roll out the wrists, even though it's just the one wrist really that had that kind of pressure put on it. Yeah, so when the arms extend, of course, they can, really pull back because we have that mobility within our shoulder there, and our arm is lighter than our leg. So of course, it's much easier, right, to move that part. But what happens, right? Notice my chest. My shirt label alone shows you that if I overextend my arm, other parts follow. Whereas if I just open to 90, I stay centered. So just important to follow, even though you know your body can go further, but it compromises other things. Okay, let's do the other side. Tabletop position, spread fingers, gripped ground, strong base to start. Left arm, right leg, breathe in, forward and back. Now be mindful of that arm as you extend it out to the side, and then feel that leg, the outer hip muscle, working to help keep the leg elevated. Come back through center on an inhale. Ground in with your grounded parts. Extension. Center, take it, inhale. Let's do 2 more. Coming back through one last time. Extension, heart stretching to the front. Come back through center and tabletop. And child's pose. And elbows up and rolling out our wrists. I'd like us next to just do briefly a stretch for the back of our shoulder, as well as the front of our shoulders. We'll be working with opposite sides. So as one back is stretching, the opposite side front is stretching. So coming into tabletop position to begin, you're going to take your right arm, sweep it out to the side and lift it up to the sky. Take an inhale. Thread the arm through as you exhale, look across the floor, and then rest on the arm. Once you have landed and grounded on the arm, tip the fingers of your left hand, step the hand to the side, point the elbow to sky. Push off those fingertips to roll your chest open towards the ceiling a little bit more. Then you're going to take that left arm, extend it up high to the sky. You're going to take that left arm, bend at the elbow, flip your palm to face the sky. Then you're going to take the top of your hand across behind you as close to your right hip and staying down low as you can. So I would rather you stay middle back and low than try to cross to the hip, but it can only bring your hand up higher. When you pull our hand up too high, that shoulder actually hikes up and strains up. We want it to fall into its space. And then we'll use the top of the hand to try to roll the shoulder open, which stretches the front side of it. Another option, you could take your left leg, extend it out to its side with the inner edge of foot touching down. That's a counterbalance to help roll you open more if you'd like to. I'm going to breathe here just a couple of times, or a few times rather, in this space. One more breath in. One more breath out. Then with your next inhale, release your left arm, reach it to the sky. As you breathe out, take the hand to the ground, push off of it to unravel your body and return back to tabletop. We're going to do that on the other side next. So left arm, sweeping out, reaching up, breathing in, exhaling, threading, looking, reaching, resting down. Then we 10 fingers of right hand, step it to side, push elbow to sky, push off, and try to roll open just a little bit more. Once you have, right arm reaches up, bend elbow, top of hand to sky, top of hand to hip, palm to sky, pressing into your lower back to help roll the shoulder open more, and an option to extend your right leg out to its side with the inner edge or the ball of your foot, anything that can anchor down on the foot, right, to press into the floor so you can start to roll back more, and it's your counterbalance. If that lifts, holy cannoli, yeah, you're tipping right over. So make sure that that foot is rooted down, and just breathe into your shoulders here, back up, front up. Let's stay here for 2 more. One more cycle through. Then as you breathe in next, right arm reaches up high to sky. As you breathe out, the hand comes down, push off the ground, unravel, tabletop position. Wonderful. From tabletop, we're going to transition to our left side body. We're going to do some outer hip strengthening. But first, I'd like us to get a nice stretch into our quads, the fronts of our legs. So once you've made it your way onto your left side, make sure you're in a nice line and that you're stacked up well. Then you're going to flex your right foot, pull the heel towards glute, and then reach back for either foot, ankle, or pant leg. And then once you have that hold, take the right leg that tends to lift up. I want you to draw it down. Then I would like your knee to pull back, but your pelvis to press forward at the same time. So that's your 2 hip bones and your pubic bone, all 3 points, right? Your pelvic triangle pressing to the front of your workspace. The knee pulls back to provide that push-pull energy for a deeper stretch to your quad. You can flex the foot if it's available to you. That can sometimes intensify the stretch. And as well as thinking of your knee pulling back, I also want you to think of the top of your kneecap at the same time, reaching down towards that left foot. So you got a lot of energy directions going on here just to get a simple stretch. But breathe into the front of that leg. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. Again, breath in. Breath out. One last time, breath in. When you exhale, release the leg, lengthen it, and then let it rest down. Take your right hand to your hip and point your elbow to the sky. Flex both of your feet. Press your left side into the ground as none. Then you hover that right leg off and then internally rotate just subtly. When you breathe out, we're going to lift the leg up a little bit higher and we're going to take it down to hover. So we're moving this body part independently. Everything else stays like a statue. Pull up slow through hip strength, core strength, and then hover the leg with resistance. We're doing 2 more here. Pull up slow. Come down with resistance. Once more here, push out through the heel of your foot as the leg is lifting. Make sure to maintain internal rotation subtly. And then take the leg down half of the way. From this space, I'd like you to draw the leg out in front just a little bit more, but don't let your right elbow, shoulder, or hip fall back as it's tempting to do because it's easier to do. So rather feel that shoulder, elbow, hip almost roll forward a bit. A lot of core here for this. Lift leg up again on the exhale. Hover. Don't forget internal rotation. Lift. So the toes don't point to sky. They point directly straight on. 2 more here. Pull up slow. Good. Come back to hover. Once more. Back down just half of the way. Very slowly bring that leg back in line with the rest of you. And then notice if your upper half of body readjusted. We want to try to make sure that When we shift our top leg, that our upper half stays still where it was. We're going to pull that right leg now slightly behind. So now it's tempting of our upper body to fall forward. So feel the energy of your body pull back. A little bit more glute with this hip work here. Lift the leg on the exhale. Take it to hover on an inhale. Again, lift behind you. Feel the heel reach back. And then take it to hover. Let's do 2 more here. Slow pull up. And then hover the leg. One last time. Lifting it up. Good. Taking it down half of the way again. Slowly bring the leg back in line and notice if your upper body had shifted back into space. Once the leg is lined up, point the toes and start to draw some circles here. Take your time. These are small. The circular movement really throws our body off balance, so we have to use our left side and our core. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Pause and reverse direction. You're also relying on the pointing of your toes. The more they are, the stiffer the leg is, the easier it is to move it. 3, 2, 1. Pause. Flex the foot again and pulse it, pulse it, pulse it. Good. 5, lifting up. 4, pumping out. 3, keep breathing. 2, little guys. 1. Good. Slowly take that leg all the way down this time. Wow. Hip burn. So let's bend that knee to the front. Let's take a moment just to tap out the hip. And we are going to move next to our bottom leg. So we're going to stay stacked here as we are. Just take your right foot, step it behind your left leg. Angle the left leg a bit more in front. Take the hand back to hip, elbow back to sky. So now our hips are no longer stacked, but we don't want to be falling on our backside. We're still lying on our left. Hover the left leg, externally rotate it instead of internal, right? So we flick that inner edge of heel to sky. Then we're going to work inner thigh muscle and lower abdominals. So on our exhale, leading with heel, lift leg up, and then take back to hover. Make sure that elbow points straight up. We're going to lift and then hover. 4 more. 4. And then hover. 3 more. Good. Hover 2 more times. Lift. Good. Hover once more here. Slow pull up and then keep it here. So when you breathe in, start to draw circles and continue to breathe in this space like you're like you had a marker on the heel of your foot. Control it. 3. Breathe it. 2. 1. Pause. Reverse direction. Inhale, exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then take the leg down for just a brief moment. You may feel that your body kind of restacks a little bit more. From here, reach your right leg to sky, pointed toes again to lock up the leg, holding onto the leg where you can with your right hand. That doesn't mean your hand is going to necessarily reach anywhere at the foot or the ankle. Maybe you're holding on to the back of your calf, or maybe even hooking your arm behind the thigh. Take a breath in while you're here. When you exhale, try to squeeze your left leg up towards your right leg, push through heel, and then take the leg down. It's going to throw our balance off a bit, so it's okay to be a little wobbly. Squeeze it up, and then take it back down. We're going to do 4 more. 4, and then take it down. So the squeezing up of isn't all, but you're never, not, I don't want to say never. It's very rare that you would get the legs to actually come in close to each other. 2 more times, but you're still working the inner thigh muscle to get it up as high as you can. Come down on an inhale. 1 more time. Good. Take the leg all the way down. Then release your right leg and lengthen that one down as well. But let's go ahead and press up to seated. Let's transition to the other side. Lying on your right side. Straight line stacked hips, flexed feet, left hand to hip, elbow to sky, right side anchored, top leg hovered, internal rotation, look straight on. When you, oh, I'm sorry, pause. Quad stretch, I knew I forgot something. Left heel to glute, catch hold of ankle, foot, or pant leg. Then hug the leg down, knee back, pelvis forward, and then the top of your kneecap reaching down towards your right foot, flexing your left foot if you'd like for just a bit more sensation of stretch. And I want you to maintain all these energies within your body. Never let the pelvis relax or the knee relax. So keeping the energy to keep the stretch. Let's stay here for 3 more cycles. Again. One more time, breath in big. And then let that release the stretch. Now let's flex the foot if it's not there. Hover the leg. Internal rotation, elbow to sky. Here we are with the work. Exhale, lifting leg, pushing through heel. And then hovering. Each time your leg lifts, you should engage your abdominals. Pull them in tight. Then hover the leg. Let's do that 2 more times. Good. Take it to hover. One last time. Slow draw up. And then lower it down half of the way. Now, very slowly, start to pull that left leg slightly in front. As you do, feel your upper body almost try to lean forward a bit because it wants to do the opposite. Then we begin again. Lifting leg on the exhale. Hovering. Without swinging it up, pull it up through hip strength and then hover the leg. We'll do that 2 more times. Slow lift and then take it to hover. One last time. Good. Bring it back half of the way. Bring leg back in line slow. Notice if there was any change of upper body. Then now you'll start to pull back, but feel the energy of your upper body almost press behind you to prevent it from falling forward. And we're going to lift that leg again, exhaling, and then hovering. As the leg lifts, feel the heel drive back and then hover. We'll do that 2 more times. Lift. Good. Back to hover. One more time. Slow pull up. Bring it to halfway, and then slowly bring leg back in line with everything else. Once it is, toes are pointed, we go right into our circles. Take your time. Breathe steadily. Move slowly. 3, 2, 1. Let's pause. Reverse direction. Check your elbow. Adjust if you need to. Make sure the upper body doesn't move a bit. 3, 2. A lot of core here. 1. Pause. Flex foot again. Micro pulse it. Lift it. Lift it. Lift it. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it all the way down. Bend the knee to the ground in front. Tap, tap, tap it out through the hip. Now we're going to move to our right leg next. So when you are ready, we're going to step that left foot behind the right leg. Angle right leg slightly more in front. Hand to hip, elbow to sky. We're still lying on our right side, but that left hip has pulled back just a little bit. Hover your right leg, externally rotate it, push up through heel. Then as you breathe out, lead with heel and lift leg up. Take it to hover. Again, lift. And then hover, and we'll do 4 more here. Inner thigh, lower core, squeeze it up. Good, make sure that you're maintaining external rotation, that you're keeping a deep flex in the foot. 2 more times here. Everything else stays steady and still. Lift. Good, hover. 1 last time. Lifting right leg independently, holding it there, moving right into our circles. Take your time here as well. Breathe throughout. 3, 2, 1. Pause. Reverse direction. Inhale, exhale. Keep pushing through the foot. 3, 2, belly strong. 1, good, and then let the leg gently come all the way down. Once it has, reach your left leg to sky. Hold where you can with your left hand and have a nice firm grip. Then hover your right leg, flex the foot again. Already a little wobbly balance. With your breath out, try to pull your right leg up higher towards your left. And then take it back to hover. It's tricky to do. Exhale, squeeze up with your inner thigh strength. And then take it down with control. Couple more. Good, slow coming down. One last time, belly strong. Good, slowly take it down all the way. Release your left leg. Let that come down as well. Beautiful, let's press up to seated from here. Let's stretch out our hips. Let's get into our inner thighs. Butterfly stretch, soles of feet come together, knees are wide. Holding tight onto the legs so we can sit up tall. Flat back as you hinge into the hips, leaning closer to your feet. Start to round your lower back, then your middle, then your upper, then your head gently falls forward. Rounding of your spine, but still continue to try to reach your belly button up closer towards your toes. Take some deep inhales into the outer hips, lower back and inner thighs. Nice long exhales. Stay here for a couple more. Big breaths in. Long breaths out. Once more, inhale all the way. As you breathe out, start to stack, 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 stack. Head will be the last thing that comes up. And then once it has, go ahead and cross the legs. Root your sits bones to the floor. Lift your heart up high to sky. Arms down beside you, palms faced up. Breathing in for our finisher, we reach out and we reach to sky, touching hands above, and then bringing hands to heart center. We'll do that a couple more times. So breathe in, sweep down, out and up, touching hands above, and then drawing within, exhaling. Good, one more time. Inhale high to the sky, touch above, connect within, keep your hands here, bring your chin to your chest. Close your eyes and bow to yourself. Always is time to thank yourself for the time that you carve out to show up, to be mindful of your body, understanding its connection, and continuing to keep it moving. Thank you guys again for another practice. Enjoy this video and look for more to come. Enjoy this, enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you all very soon. Have a good day, guys. Thank you.